Alright, live on YouTube, live on Rumble. Good afternoon, hello, welcome to This Date in History, aka TDH. I'm Alexander. You, yes, you out there are the viewer. And, of course, you are you. And we will be joined by the Golden Loon here shortly. Anyway, wait, did I lower the volume on this? I did not. So this is full volume. Hold on. I wonder why it was so loud. Yeah, there we go. That's a lot better. Anyway, today is Freya's Day, aka Friday, July 17, 2026. This show is about interesting and important events that happened to date throughout the annals of recorded history. We have a 35-page document to go through today. Where did it go? Here it is. Yep. So let's get into it, shall we? Starting us off in the year 180, 6 residents of Carthage in North Africa were executed for being Christian. This is the earliest recorded instance of Christianity in the region, and of course it's being persecuted. So it says here from the other source, 12 inhabitants of Sicilium, near Kasserine in modern-day Tunisia in North Africa, were executed for being Christians. This is the earliest recorded record of Christianity in that part of the world. 1048, Damascus II was elected Pope, or Damasus, not Damascus, Damasus the second was elected Pope and died 23 days later. And we had two other Pope articles here, 561 and 855. So these two, and then 1048 from a different source there. The fan. I was wondering why you thanked me. 1040 as well. 4-year-old Henry IV, so 4 the 4, was crowned as King of Germany in Aachen, or in Aachen. I want to go back here just for the loon to hear this. The very first article today. Yeah. 180. 6 residents of Carthage, or according to other source, 12 inhabitants of Sicilium, near Kasserine in modern-day Tunisia, in North Africa, were executed for being Christians. Oh, man. This is the earliest record of Christianity in that part of the world. Oh. And of course, it's under the boot, so as it always has been. Moving on up to 1070, Arnulf III, the Hapless, became Earl of Flanders. And who's this Arnulf III, the Hapless?
Earl of Flanders.
Well, Flanders is a region in, France or something. But, why is this guy called the Hapless?
I don't know.
It just says Arnulf III of Flanders. Not saying anything about the Hapless. Anyway. What else we got here? 1203, the siege of Constantinople began during the Fourth Crusade as Roman Catholic Crusaders aboard a Venetian fleet attacked the city. So, other source says the Fourth Crusade assaulted Constantinople. The Byzantine Emperor Alexios III and Gelos fled from his capital into exile. What a coward. 1245, the Pope banned Emperor Frederick II Hohenstaufen for the 3rd time. Wow. Make up your mind,
no kidding.
You're like someone's wife who doesn't know where they want to go for dinner. Make a decision. 1296, illuminated Hebrew Bible, the Rothschild Pentateuch, signed and completed by scribes Elijah ben Meshullam and Elijah ben Jehiel. It is now in the Getty Museum. And I want to reiterate the name Rothschild. So there you go. Mm-hmm. We know about the Rothschilds and all their shady stuff and everything. But let's look up a couple images of this text right here. So it is, it says an illuminated Hebrew Bible, so I guess that means illustrated or something, yeah. Illuminated. I mean, this was well before electricity or lights, unless they're talking about a technology that we no longer know. But let's look this up here, right here. It's in the Getty Museum right there. So is this the Getty out here in Cali? What other Getty is there? It just says Getty Museum Collection.
I don't think it's out here in L.A., is it?
There's a Getty Museum.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was back east. And I think there's a Getty in Vegas now.
Well, right here they have the Getty Center in L.A., the Getty Villa, the Pacific Palisades.
Oh, okay.
So this is one out here. Maybe we should go visit the Getty again and look at this in person. So, although that'll be incredibly expensive. Anyway, let's see here. Let me start this underbar of the description section. Actually, hold on a second. Rothschild Pentateuch, or whatever, however it's pronounced. Anyway, this link and any other link that we collect throughout the show will be, put in the underbar of the description below. after the live stream, as per usual. We already have a lot of cool things down there, including one limited to all things Omni Coalition. A couple of our sources, the music in the background, and a handful of interesting things. But yeah, if you want to read, this webpage here that I have, it's in the underbar, and it'll appear, after the live stream, about 10 minutes or so from it. Anyway, 1402, Zhu Di, better known by his era name as Yongle Emperor, assumed the throne over the Ming Dynasty of China. 1429, Dauphin crowned King Charles VII of France, despite having been king since 1422. So, 7 years a little late there.
Yeah.
here we go. During the 100 Years' War, so 1429 as well, Charles VII of France was crowned the King of France in the Reims Cathedral after a successful campaign by Joan of Arc. Huh. So he wasn't actually crowned until Joan's escapades. That's pretty interesting. 1453, Battle of Castillon. The French army defeated the English force under John Talbot. This is the turning point of the 100 Years' War. So from the other source, the last battle of the 100 Years' War, the French under Jean Barrou defeated the English under Earl of Shrewsbury, whom was killed in the Battle of Gascony. 1505, Martin Luther entered an Augustinian monastery at Erfurt. Huh. Augustinian, is that, like Augustus, Caesar, is this Rome? What is Augustinian? Is that the type of religion?
I'm not sure.
Augustinian order. Oh, Augustinians. Members of religious orders that follow the rule of Saint Augustine.
Okay.
Well, there you go. I'm gonna put this in underbar as well. Augustinian. Link, copy, paste. All right. What else do we got here? In 1505, we got that one. 1509, Venice recaptured nearby Italian city of Padua. Let's not forget that Venice, before it was incorporated into Italy itself, it was its own little nation state.
Oh, was it?
Yes, we've spoken about this before a couple of times. That because of its environment, how it's essentially a floating city and everything.
Yeah.
Maritime commerce. It was a big big mover and shaker.
That makes sense.
It was a port city, so Venice became a tiny little superpower. Economically. 1549, Jews were expelled from Ghent, Belgium. Here we go again. Why? Doesn't tell us that part. 1552, Siena drove Spanish troops out of Verdun. 1583, Spanish and Walloon troops conquered Dunkirk. Now that makes me wonder, the last two articles, we have, the last two articles were in France. So 1552, Siena drove Spanish troops out of Verdun. Okay, and Verdun we know is in France.
Right.
And Dunkirk, it's spelled differently, but we know Dunkirk, is in France. So was Spain in France somehow? I mean, they back in that time, they were a pretty substantial power. In the 1500s, they had the
Spanish and whatever it is.
Walloon troops conquered Dunkirk. Yeah. So I'm wondering if they're invading, mainland France. Huh.
Yeah.
1585, English Secret Service discovered Anthony Babington's plot to murder Queen Elizabeth I. Ooh. Wow. Look at that. Plot to murder plot. I'm seeing, I've been finding a lot of, grammatical mistakes and everything on our primary source here. 1596, at 10:30 a.m., Dutch explorer Willem Barents arrived at Novaya Zemlya, Arctic Ocean. Well, how do we know the time exactly? Did he say it, but this was well before timelines? Was he saying it local time? Was he saying it, mainland time from Greenwich, from where he came from? Where do we base? How do we know it's at 10:30 a.m. and from 1596? That is weird. 1603, English explorer Walter Raleigh was arrested by forces of King James I of England. Wonder why? I'm going to do a surface level scratch of that article really quick. Let's see here. Main plot. Huh. So let's see. The main plot was an alleged conspiracy in July of 1603 by English courtiers to remove King James I from the English throne and replace him with his cousin, Lady Arbella Stuart. The plot was supposedly led by Lord Cobham and funded by the Spanish government. In a state trial, the defendants accused of involvement in the main plot were tried along with those of the bio plot. It is referred to as the main plot because at the time it was presented as the principal, the main plot of which the secondary or the by plot was a minor component. So there are two plots, and this was plot A, and that was plot B to work in simultaneous. So somehow Walter Raleigh was scooped up into this, Raleigh. I don't know if he's guilty or not. It's not telling me anything about Walter Raleigh. I'm not. Oh, here we go. Where Sir Walter Raleigh was governor. Okay, so let me read this. In the version of the plot presented at trial, Cobham was negotiating with the Count of Aremberg to contact the Spanish court in order to obtain a very large sum of money, approximately £160,000, or over 22 million pounds in 2025 money. He was to travel to Brussels, then to Spain, collect the money, and go back to England via Jersey, where Sir Walter Raleigh was governor. Raleigh and Cobham were then to divide up the money and decide how to best spend it in the furtherance of sedition. Wow, that's crazy. 1686, a meeting took place at Lunenburg between several Protestant powers in order to discuss the formation of an evangelical league of defense called the Confederatio Militae Evangelicae against the Catholic League. 1782, Great Britain, Portugal, and France signed a ceasefire. Well, it was like the 19th in the old style. Like there's a Gregorian and the Julian calendars and everything. We use a Gregorian from Pope Gregory. Before that, the Julian. Do you know where the Julian calendar came from?
Julius Caesar.
You are correct. 1717, in the year, George Frederick Handel's Water Music premiered reputedly, I guess, on a barge cruising the River Thames in London. And we actually have the water music.
Oh.
So apparently this is what this is what we listen, this is what he listened to while on a barge going down the River Thames in London. Now, the whole thing's like 54 minutes long, so I'm going to put it in here, water music. If anybody wants to listen to this, I'm not sure something from 1717 could be copywritten. If I could, have it in the background, I'm not sure, but I don't want to risk it. So, if anybody wants to listen to this, I will post it in the underbar. What else do we got here? Moving on up to 1762. Empress Catherine II became Tsarina of Russia after the death and rumored assassination of Tsar Peter III. And other source said that former Emperor Peter III of Russia was murdered. So apparently he was. 1771, we have the Bloody Falls Massacre. Chippewa chief Mantanabe, traveling as the guide to Samuel Hearn on his Arctic overland journey, massacred a group of unsuspecting Inuits. Yikes. 1774, Captain James Cook arrived at the New Hebrides in Vanuatu. Where is that? I'm going to do a surface level scratch.
No clue.
Erromango. It's the fourth largest island in the Vanuatu archipelago, with a land area, yada yada yada. Coral Sea. Alright. Yeah, I'm just going to open up the Wikipedia here. Alright. Captain James Cook arrived in the New Hebrides. So it's New Hebrides. Put it in there. What else we got? 1791, members of the French National Guard under command of General Lafayette opened fire on a crowd of radical Jacobins at Champ de Mars in Paris during the French Revolution, killing up to 50 people. Other source says scores of people. That 50 people is scores. 1794, Richard Allen organized Philadelphia's Bethel African Meth Episcopal Church. Methodist, as in meth? I hope. Why of all words to shorthand would they choose this one? Is it a meth house church? What the hell? Hello? 1794, we got that one. 1794 as well. The 16 Carmelite martyrs of Compiègne were executed after 10 days prior to the end of the French Revolution's reign of terror. 1814, Matthew Flinders published A Voyage to Terra Australis, detailing a circumnavigation of Australia, and was the first to name the continent of Australia. He died a day later. And I do have, here's an image of the king on his barge.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and actually, hold on a second, barge. Here we go. I forgot to image search this. I didn't have a note here to do so, but here's it was not just one barge. They had a whole a fleet. I think. Yeah. Well, they had all the musicians. I guess on one of these, or maybe both of these. But it looks like they had 2 barges here. Maybe that one's this one as well. and then like a sail ship right here with black sails. You know, it's very interesting. But where were we? We were in 18. Voyage to Terra Australis. We were in this one here. So here's his circumnavigation route.
Yeah.
So, and actually, it looks like somebody in blue. It looks like he came here in blue, and then so the arrows are going this way. So he's going this way. Okay, yeah. So this is how he got there, and then he went around all the way again. So he started his circumnavigation officially at Port Jackson. May of 1802, and he got there in January of 1803, a year later. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But he died a day later after he published. You know, he got it out though.
Wow, he made it.
You know, so and yeah, like there's just some other maps and everything. This is probably an actual map that he drew. Huh? That looks familiar. That almost looks like Antarctica. I don't know. Yeah, here's just another map of his circumnavigation. Yeah, right there, Port Jackson, where he started. What else do we got here? 1816, Laragas was accidentally discovered a raft holding survivors from the wrecked French frigate Medusa. After 13 days at sea, only 15 of 151 remained.
Yeah.
The rest having been cannibalized, murdered, or committed self-deletion. Made famous by Theodore Garocasso's painting The Raft of the Medusa. And we covered this, I guess, 13 days ago when it started, because we've spoken about The Raft of the Medusa. Do you remember this painting here?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I guess that was 13 days ago when we so that must have been the start of it, when they were initially shipwrecked and they got on the raft and eventually they'd be discovered, and that's what we're covering now. 1821, the Kingdom of Spain ceded the territory of Florida to the United States. I do not have an image of that. 1841, British humorous and satirical magazine Punch was first published. It closed in 2002. That's a long run, 1841 to 2002. That's impressive.
Wait a minute. That doesn't make sense.
What do you mean?
That long?
Yeah, 1841
Yeah.
to 2002.
Okay.
I mean, like newspapers have been around longer than that. Why can't a magazine?
Yeah, I guess it can.
I mean, like, here's another cover of it and everything. 1850, Harvard Observatory took the first photograph of a star other than the sun, which is Vega. And that's what this is, the one little bright twilight thing in the darkness. Yeah. So, I like it how the primary source forgets that little semantic there. Like, the first star other than the sun. Well, I mean, true, which makes me wonder, was the sun the first star, or was Vega the first star ever photographed?
By who?
Ever.
By aliens? We don't know.
Well, I mean, by us. But by within the confines of reality as we know it. I can't speak for Quasniaks because we haven't discovered them yet. Okay? So we don't know what they know, or they don't.
Well, I don't know. As hard as it would have been to take a picture of our sun,
yeah, I know.
Without filters of some
I know. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Would this be the first, ever? Because other source says other than the sun, primary source doesn't see that, so that makes me question is Vega the first star ever photographed, including with our sun in mind. So, 1858, recovery of the bell of HMS Lutyne from ship's wreck hung from rostrum in Lloyd's of London's underwriting room. I'm going to image search this, but I do have a photo of this right there. It's right there. It's in some kind of building or something, but there's the bell right there.
Yeah.
So it's not that big or prominent or anything, but it's historical, and you just overlook it as some kind of random ass decoration.
Yeah.
Not realizing it's been there since 1858. That's crazy. What else do we got here? Get rid of that. 1861, at Manassas, Virginia, General Beauregard requested reinforcements for his 22,000 men. General Johnston was ordered to Manassas. 1861 as well, U.S. Congress authorized paper money. Make it rain.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, yeah. 1862, United Army officially divided corps. What does that mean? What country? United Army? I'm going to surface level scratch this article really quick. The Second Corps, Union Army. Oh, okay. So, and I wonder if this has anything to do with what I'm about to read here. 1862, U.S. Army authorized to accept black Stadians as laborers. So So at least they're getting in the army. They're not being allowed to fight. But let's see here. Motto: clubs or trumps. Ooh.
What does that mean?
I don't know, but the word Trump is like, here we go. During the American Civil War, these formations were the Army of the Cumberland II Corps, commanded by Thomas L. Critterham. It just tells me all this different people. Of these five, the one most widely known was the Army of the Potomac Formation, the subject of this article. So if you want to read more about the Second Corps Army, there you go. Gonna throw that in there. What else do we got here? 1863, Battle of Honey Springs, the largest battle in Indian Territory. Mm-hmm. Yep, that's one thing that we white men taught the natives is we bring a lot of us to fight, and there's a lot of us. 1867, first U.S. dental school, Harvard School of Dental Medicine was established. So the Harvard School of Dental Medicine was established in Boston, Massachusetts. It is the first dental school in the U.S. that is affiliated with a university. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's still around, I presume. I don't know why it wouldn't be. There's the old building. So, cool. 1878, Nguislo, tribal chief of Western Pondolan and eldest son of the Damas, signed a treaty with H.G. Elliot, ceding sovereign rights and shipping in the Umzimbivubu River mouth to the Cape government in southern Africa. 1879, first railroad opened in Hawaii. I'm going to image search this really quick just to see, Hawaiian Railroad, okay. That looks like a Hawaiian Railroad. View of Koala Railroad. Okay, cool. I don't know why, but it looks like it's in Hawaii. Am I making any sense?
It looks pretty barren to me for Hawaii. That's
it's up in the mountains or something,
Yeah.
And a little small locomotive and all that stuff. I kind of looks like the ocean out there. I don't know. It just seems like it's in Hawaii. I can't explain it, In 1893, Arthur Shrewsbury was the first to score 1,000 runs in Test cricket. I have a soundboard for that, actually. Where is it? There you go. 1897, the first ship arrived in Seattle carrying gold from the Yukon.
Ooh.
1898, during the Spanish-American War, Spaniards surrendered to U.S. forces at Santiago de Cuba. 1 year after that, in 1899, NEC Corporation was organized as the first Japanese joint venture with foreign capital. That's big. That's epic. Let's look this up here really quick. Yeah, NEC. Oh, that's small. Is this going to tell me that's small as well? Okay. Well, it's this company here, the first Japanese joint venture with a foreign capital. That's awesome. Oh. Actually, let's look this up here this way. If it'll tell. Yep, NEC. All right, they appear to still be around. Open the wiki, damn it. There we go. Let me throw this link into here. NEC. All right. Moving on up to 1902, Lord Tennyson, son of the poet, was named to succeed Lord Hopetoun, the first Governor General of Australia. We also have Orioles forfeit to the St. Louis, having only 5 players available to play. They then forfeited their franchise back to the American League. That's a bummer. Yeah. In 1903, the Russian Social Democratic Workers' Party met, first in Brussels and then in London, because their leaders have been forced into exile by the Russian government. That's for a reason, and maybe their host governments should have exiled them from there as well. 1906, Armand Fallières was elected president of France, but the power lied with Georges Clemenceau. 1911, overthrown Shah of Persia Muhammad Ali landed on Astrabad with an army. Sounds like he's taking it back. 12, International Amateur Athletic Federation formed in Stockholm, Sweden, now known as World Athletics. And there they are. This is what they were on the left. And then here they are on the right with a new logo. Probably cost $4.3 billion,
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So, hold on a second. BBC, this change cost millions. Let's see if I can find the image. BBC logo. Oh yeah, right here. So, no, not that one, this one. So, they changed it from this to this, and apparently it cost several $1 million. Dude, I can do that for $5 on MS Paint.
Yeah.
Alright? If you hate money that much, I'll be more than happy to take it. Okay? So, 1917, royal proclamation by King George V changed the name of the British royal family from German Saxe-Coburg-Gotha to Windsor. So that way they can be more approachable to the gullible schmucks that they rule over, even though that they're not related to them by blood at all. They ain't British, but they rule them. And we covered this article a while ago, actually. So, 1918, longest errorless game. Cubs defeated the Phillies 2-1 in 21 innings. That is 3 7-inning stretches. Exactly.
Yes, it is.
Exactly. Perfect. 1918 as well, the Romanov royal family and several of their retainers were executed by Bolshevik firing squad in the basement of Apetev House in Yekaterinburg, Siberia. And the Bolsheviks, of course, being the communists. 1918, the RMA Carpathia was sunk off Ireland by the German SMU-55. 5 lives were lost. Now, is the Carpathia, is the name in your head for any reason?
I don't know.
Well, it should be. That was a ship that picked up the survivors of the Titanic.
Oh, really?
Only to die in World War I.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, that's a shame, huh?
Yeah.
Oh. 1919, Finland adopted the Constitution. Okay. And usually, I cover these, they're seemingly nothing articles, but from the other source, we have a little bit of meat. The form of government in the Republic of Finland was officially confirmed. For this reason, July 17 is known as the Day of Democracy, or Kansanevallan Päivä in Finland. So that's, it's not every day that's a Day of Democracy, so that's pretty substantial, I think. We also have in 1919, MLB New York Yankees got 21 hits, and the Cleveland Browns answer was 17 hits, as the Browns won 7-6 in 17 innings on squeeze play. Is squeeze play something special, or what is squeeze play?
It is.
Okay.
There's a guy on third.
Okay.
And so you bunt the ball and squeeze him in.
Okay.
So you know what bunting is.
Yeah, you don't swing. So that way it gives him enough time to run to home.
He will start running for home.
Okay. Huh, that's smart.
It's almost like the batter, he's stealing and the batter's bunting.
That's
a squeeze.
That's pretty smart. 22, Ty Cobb got 5 hits in the game for a record 4th time in a year. Nice. It was 23, Carl Mays gave up 13 runs and 20 hits in a 13-0 lose to Indians. Wow, he threw the game. I know they fired him. That's terrible. 1 century ago, 1926, Paavo Nurmi walked world record 4 by 1,500 meters, 16 minutes, 11.4 seconds, I guess. 29, USSR broke diplomatic relations with China. 1932, Altona Bloody Sunday, a riot between the Nazi Party paramilitary forces, the SS and the SA, and the German Communist Party ensued. And let's see here, German, well, I'm not going to look it up. Because this, here, where is it, 32? This initial stands for something completely different today. So I don't want to trigger anything. 33, after successfully crossing the Atlantic Ocean, the Lithuanian research aircraft Lithuanica crashed in Germany under mysterious circumstances. That's an eyebrow raiser. 34, Babe Ruth drew his 2000th base on balls at Cleveland. That almost sounded like a cricket quote there. 35,
That's a way to say it, yeah.
Yeah. 35, Variety magazine published a famous headline, Sticks, Nicks, Hicks, Picks. What?
Yeah, what is that?
I don't know. I'm gonna Surface Level Scratch look this up here really quick. Sticks, Nicks, Hicks, Picks. A newspaper covering Hollywood and the entertainment industry. It was an article about the reaction of rural audiences to movies about rural life. Oh wow! And so they're calling them Hick. So Sticks, Nicks, Hick, Picks. Okay, so Variety was known for its playful use of Broadway and Hollywood jargon to pack as much meaning as possible into a small headline or article. Examples include H-Wood and Biz. So, slangwage. Hey, I like that word, slangwage. So, Sticks, Nicks, Hicks, Picks means the people in rural areas, the Sticks, reject Nicks, motion pictures, Picks about rural people, Hicks. Wow,
okay.
That's actually really smart. The accompanying article is based on an interview with Joe Kinsey, who operated theaters in the mostly rural tri-state circuit of Illinois, Iowa, and Nebraska. Kinsey claimed that, quote, farmers are not interested in farming pictures, end quote, and that two recent pictures set in upper-class milieu, The Barretts of Wimpole Street and The Scarlet Pimpernel, had been big successes with this demographic. Okay, well, let me go see. Sticks, Nicks, Hick, Pigs. That's really smart. Like when you think about it. Yeah, very clever. Yeah, smart, clever, whatever. What else we got here? 1936, New York Giants future baseball Hall of Fame pitcher Carl Hubbell began MLB record 24-game winning streak, defeating Pittsburgh Pirates 6-0 at Ford Field in Pittsburgh. Spanish generals Francisco Franco and Emilia Mola led a right-wing uprising, starting the Spanish Civil War. So according to other sources, an armed forces rebellion against the recently elected leftist Popular Front government of Spain started the Civil War. 1 year later, Elmer Fudd, not to be confused with the governor of Minnesota, the actual cartoon character Elmer Fudd, originally Egghead, was a Warner Brothers cartoon character created by Tex Avery and Chuck Jones for the Looney Tunes and Merry Melodies series, first debuting as Egghead in Egghead Rise Again. And here he is right here. This is what he actually looked like, old Bugs and old Egghead, old governor of Minnesota. So, and then now he looks like, this guy and yeah. What's his name again?
I want to say Elmer Fudd.
No, it's Elmer Fudd. Minnesota. Oh, there he is. Okay, Tim Waltz. Yeah. It says apparently because the reason why I'm calling him Elmer Fudd is because that's actually like a nickname he's earned online. Oh. Apparently he had right here struggles to load a shotgun during pheasant hunting. So apparently he was Elmer Fudding it up, and so.
He could have been our vice president.
Oh my goodness, I'm so happy he wasn't. Let's see here. 38, Douglas Wrong Way Corrigan left New York flying for Los Angeles and wound up in Ireland, supposedly by mistake. How do you fuck that up?
Wow.
How do you head for Los Angeles and wind up in Ireland?
Wrong Way Corrigan. I've heard that before.
Yeah, well, why was he called the wrong way? Well, other source says Douglas Corrigan took off from Brooklyn to fly the wrong way to Ireland and became known as Wrong Way Corrigan. So he left, apparently he was supposed to go to LA, but he ended up in Ireland. That's a big mistake.
Yeah.
Mom's time, New York Yankee Joe DiMaggio's 56-game hitting streak ended in Cleveland.
Oh, man.
And we also have German and Romanian forces overtake Soviet Union for control of Kishinev in Moldova. Ghetto and pogrom established, resulting in death of over 11,000 Jews. In 1942, 3 feet, not inches, feet, 2 lines means inches. So 3 feet of rain fell in Pennsylvania, flooding killed 15. And this has to be connected because it's the same year in the same area. Estimated 34.5 inches, or 87.7 or 87.5 centimeters of rainfall. Well, 12/24/36, 34.5. That's 3 feet. So there you go. Rainfall in Smethport, Pennsylvania, state record. Flooding killed 15. Yeah, it even had the same death toll. So this is same article right here.
Yep.
42 as well. Transport number 6 departed pith livers in France with 928 French Jews sent to Auschwitz concentration camp. 45 survived until the war's end. Yikes. At least that's better than 44, or 0. 44, Soviet troops crossed the Bug River and marched into Poland. We also have during World War II the Port Chicago disaster. An explosion during munition loading killed 322 and injured nearly 400, destroyed 3 ships and a pier at the Port Chicago Naval Magazine in Port Chicago, California. Conditions inspired the Port Chicago mutiny later that summer. And this is a colorized photograph of that. Like, that's the pier.
Yeah.
And everything. This is the cars blowing all the debris, just completely destroyed.
Whoa.
There's a truck in here. That appears to be a truck right there. You see it?
Yeah.
Like, oh wow. There's like the engine of a truck right here. Nothing left. So, let's other images of this disaster, this tragedy. Wow, look at that. It's just huge. That is a disaster. What else we got here? 1945, leaders Harry Truman, Joseph Stalin, and Winston Churchill held their first post-World War II meeting at the Potsdam Conference. So the main 3 leaders of the Allied nations, Winston Churchill, Harry S. Truman, and Joseph Stalin, held the Potsdam Conference in the German city of Potsdam to decide the future of a defeated Germany. Loon's time.
Yeah, hey.
Except it's 2 years later, 1948, Israeli army captures Nazareth. And here we go. 48 as well, proclamation of Constitution of Republic of South Korea. U.S. Air Force pilot Gail Halvorson encountered children at Tempelhof Airport in Berlin during the Berlin blockade, giving him the idea to drop candy in Operation Little Vittles.
Oh, my.
Awesome, yeah, so that's when he started dropping the candy for the children and everything.
Yeah.
1950, Suppression of Communism Act came into force in South Africa. 53, the largest number of United States midshipmen casualties in a single event resulted from an aircraft crash in Florida, killing 44. 1954, the first Major League game where a majority of team was black in the Dodgers. That doesn't sound like equality, you know? Like, oh, wait, no, equality means less white people. Okay, that's what, okay, now I understand. All right.
No, it means they're performance-oriented. They don't give a damn a color.
I'm being facetious.
I know you are.
To take all of this liberal mentality and stuff it right back down their own throats, you know?
I know they are.
Yeah.
I know you. I know what you're doing.
Yeah, yeah. Huh. 1954, first Indochina, actually no, 54, construction of Disneyland commenced in Anaheim, California.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah. You want to tell a little story about it? Like you tell me every now and then about, people, what they said about him?
Who, Walt Disney?
Yes.
He thought he was nuts.
Yeah.
Because it was out there in the boondocks.
Yeah, just out there in the... Well,
orange groves.
Why is it called Orange County?
Yeah, because there's nothing but orange groves out here. Huge fields of orange groves. And he built right in the middle of it. We thought he was crazy.
See if I can find an aerial photo of original Disneyland. Yeah. Yeah, see, like, right here. You see all the trees right here?
Yeah.
Not for you, but for the viewers and everything. Like, this is showing, like, right there, you can see, groves right there. If you go look out in Anaheim now, all this is all city, but like
solid.
But all this, it was
that
just
freeway. There's the 5.
That's the 5.
Yeah.
It goes right against Disneyland like that.
Pretty close. Yeah.
Okay. Huh. That's cool.
Well, I don't know if that is the 5 goes right by it.
Oh, there's a 5.
Yeah.
So, I maybe that was before the 5. But no, here it is. It shows. Actually, no. This is a 55-24. So it shows you right here what it looked like. So all this.
Yeah.
Like this is where California Adventure would be. There it is right there.
Yeah.
And then the 5 is there, but it's not right.
No, not right next to it, but it's right there.
No. But that's the same road, or it's one of these roads. I think it's this one.
Yeah.
That the convention center is on somewhere.
The convention center actually comes up this way, I believe.
Oh, okay. Anyway, moving on up to 1954 as well, the First Indochina War, Viet Minh troops successfully ambushed the armored French column GM-42 in the Battle of Chu Dra Pass in the Central Highlands. It was the last battle of the war. 55, Arco, Idaho became the first U.S. city lit by nuclear power.
Ooh.
Yeah. And I wanted...
What year?
55.
Oh.
Yeah. So, now, I was going to use, there was a night shot here. Where'd it go? It's gone. What the hell? Huh. Okay, that's weird. There was a night shot, and it was way too big, and that's why I used this photo here and everything. That's very odd. Hold on a second, let me get rid of that. Is that gonna... No. Huh.
We'll scroll all the way down. Maybe it's further down.
No, it was the first one. It's been changed. It wasn't this one.
Okay.
But I wanted to use it because, like, nuclear power, show it lighting up,
Yeah.
But it was like such a big picture. It didn't show up on the, like, as one thing. It was like very zoomed, so you wouldn't be able to see it. It was something like this, but not as good. But yeah, that's a terrible shot. There was a lot better picture than that. Anyway, what else do we got? Let me scroll all the way back up here. 1955 as well, Disneyland televised its grand opening in Anaheim, California. At 56, MGM released film High Society, a musical reworking of the Philadelphia story, set in Newport, Rhode Island, starring Bing Crosby, Grace Kelly, and Frank Sinatra, with songs by Cole Porter. 58, King Hussein declared himself head of Jordan/Iraqi Federation. Peter Shaver's musical Five Finger Exercise premiered in London. Is that about shoplifting?
Gotta be.
Well, Five finger shoplifting, exercise lifting, shoplifting, 5. It has like it's like a triple entendre joke. It's awesome. 59, North by Northwest, directed by Alfred Hitchcock and starring Cary Grant and Eva Marie Saint, premiered in Los Angeles. Eva Marie, okay. 59, a 2,000 foot long by 1,300 foot wide section of ridge fell into Mattis. That doesn't sound good. Oh, yikes. So it's a section of the mountain.
Whoa.
Fell or something. Huh. Whoa. Is that real? That's a road.
That looks pretty weird.
But you can see the bracing. I think that's real. Wow. The Friendship Road. 59, paleoanthropologist Mary Leakey discovered the partial skull of a new species of early human ancestor, Zinjanthropus boisei, or Zinj, now called Paranthropus boisei, which lived in Africa almost 2 million years ago.
Yeah.
1959. Yeah, you try to read this word, paleoanthropologist. Like, that is a very big word right there. So, let's look this up. I looked this up earlier for thumbnail and everything, and I don't want to skull in my thumbnail. No. But there's the artist rendition of what they think the species will look like. Anyway, what else do we got here? 1959, River Canyon extending man-made Lake Hebbian by 5 miles in Montana. Huh?
I have no idea what that means.
A River Canyon extending man-made lake. So
it's going 5 miles farther?
Yeah, I guess. The River Canyon something, I don't know. That's weird. In 59, Tibet abolished serfdom. Excellent. 1961, John Chancellor became news anchor of Today Show. 1962, East Berliner Peter Fetcher fled over the Berlin Wall. 62 as well, Robert White in the X-15 set an altitude record of 108 kilometers at 354,300 feet. That's pretty up there. Mm-hmm. That's many miles. In 1962, Senate rejected Medicare for aged. Yikes. 62 as well, U.S. performed nuclear test in Nevada test site. And normally I wouldn't cover that because there's a lot of those, articles. There's been a lot of nuclear tests. I mean, I haven't showcased this in a while, but every nuke test. You remember this video? Every nuke test?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. This is, practically every one of these nuke tests are covered. So let's see, every nuke test in one source or another. And the reason why I'm covering this specific one here, that usually is a whatever article, nuclear weapon testing, the small boy test shot Little Feller 1 became the last atmospheric test detonation at the Nevada National Security Site. Ah. So they were blowing them up in the air, up in the atmosphere and everything. They blew them up in space. I think they actually did blow up 1 or 2 on the moon itself, just to see what would happen. 1963, Dave Bashir hit a single off Benny Daniels, his first and only MLB hit. That's cool that they documented that.
Dave DeBuscher, he's a basketball player.
Well, that's probably why that's his only hit. 64, African National Congress leader Nelson Mandela, recently sentenced to life imprisonment, was awarded the Joliet-Curie Gold Medal Award for Peace. 64 as well, Don Campbell set a record for a turbine vehicle at 690.91 kilometers per hour, 429.31 miles per hour. That's a lot of miles per hour. That's this vehicle right here, turbine vehicle. So I think it's like a jet. I mean, it looks like a jet. It has an intake and everything. So pretty wild. 1966, Stadium athlete Jim Ryan set world mile record at 3 minutes 51.3 seconds in Berkeley, California. That's pretty fast. 66 as well, Indians set club record by hitting 7 home runs in a 15-2 win over Detroit. They got smashed. 67, Jimi Hendrix quit as the opening act of the Monkees tour after playing 7 of a planned 29 shows. Wow. Bit off more than he can chew, it sounds like. 68, the Beatles animated film We All Live in a Yellow Submarine premiered in London and something submarine. 1970, 30,000 people attended Randall's Island Rock Festival in New York City. 2 years after that, first 2 women began training as FBI agents at Quantico. Okay, but will they have what it takes?
Well, that's always the question.
I'm not, whenever people have questions like that, I mean, you can't blame them. Like, I'm not a big guy, but I can probably, like, you know, easily just, you know, move most women out of my way, and I'm not even a big guy, you know? Now, if you go against somebody who's, like, on a mission, what can they do, you know? So, 1973, military coup in Afghanistan led by former Prime Minister and cousin to the king, Mohammed Daoud Khan. King Mohammed Zahir Shah remained in Italy where he was receiving medical treatment at the time. So yeah, so while he was having surgery in Italy, he was deposed by his cousin, Mohammed Daoud Khan. What a bastard. 74, Bob Gibson became the second pitcher to strike out 3,000 batters. This one specifically was Cesar Geronimo. Is this the guy who made the guitar?
No, Gibson, no.
74 as well, John Lennon was again ordered to leave the U.S. in 60 days due to a 1968 marijuana charge in the U.K. He does not, unfortunately. We also have the Moody Blues opened the first quadraphonic recording studio in the UK. Quadraphonic. Like the Moody Blues. 4? Okay.
Four sounds come in 4 directions.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. 75, 4 British soldiers were killed by a provisional Irish Republican Army remote-controlled bomb near Fort Kill, County Armagh. This attack became the first major breach of a February truce. 75 as well, NASA's Apollo 11 and Soviet Soyuz 19 made the first US-USSR link up in space. This is monumental. You know, we have two, like, without actually shooting at each other, essentially warring nations, but beyond the boundaries of Earth we are working together, and if that is not the epitome of humanity's potential, I don't know what is. That is beautiful, dude. Like, we got to, bring that back down here to Earth. You know, we need that attitude. So, what else do we got here? 19. So other source: Estonian Apollo and a Soviet Soyuz spacecraft dock with each other in orbit, marking the first such link-up between spacecraft from two warring nations, to boot. 76 as well. The 21st Modern Olympic Games opened in Montreal. 25 African teams, later rising to 33 nations, boycotted the games due to a New Zealand playing rugby in apartheid South Africa. So other source says the opening of the Summer Olympics in Montreal was marred by 25 African teams boycotting the games because of New Zealand's participation. Contrary to rulings by other international sports organizations, the IOC, the International Olympic Committee, had declined to exclude the New Zealand because of their participation in South African sporting events during apartheid. You know, like, I can't blame them, you know. On one hand, like, I have your voice in my head saying that's not right. You know, people have the right to support or not support, you know, whatever. But when it comes to the Olympics, you know, like put differences aside and be harmonious. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, if horrible thing can be so easily overlooked, then why give a damn about anything ever? You know, we need to hold people accountable to stuff at some point. So. 1976, Indonesian President Suharto annexed East Timor. So East Timor was annexed and became the 27th province of Indonesia. Yikes. 76, Walter Alston became the 5th MLB manager to win 2,000 games as the Los Angeles Dodgers defeated the visiting Chicago Cubs 5-2. 78, New York Yankee manager Billy Martin and Reggie Jackson fought in the dugout after Jackson refused to bunt, causing Martin to suspend him. 79 as well, British runner Sebastian Coe set world record with 3:49 mile in Oslo, so 3 minutes 49 seconds, I guess. 1980, Ronald Reagan formally accepted Republican nomination for U.S. president. Excellent. Yeah. 81, Fulton County in Atlanta, grand jury indicted Wayne B. Williams, 23-year-old photographers for murder of 28 blacks killed in Atlanta. Yikes. 1981 as well. Are you going to make it?
Uh-huh.
Okay. As you die. Humber Estuary Bridge in the UK opened as the world's longest span at 1.4 kilometers, and I'm pretty sure that has since been eclipsed, you know, especially by that one in China that's like way long.
Yeah.
This doesn't even look that long, you know, in comparison with other things like, you know, that I've seen, you know, throughout doing the show and everything. Hold on a second. Longest span bridge. Let's see here. Yeah, there we go. Look at that. This looks long. You know, because it's not just down here; it's like all the way up here. You know, it's starting. So, what else do we got here? In 1981 as well, lobby walkways at Kansas City's Hyatt Regency Hotel collapsed, killing 114 and injuring over 200. So a structural failure led to the collapse of a walkway at the Hyatt Regency in Kansas City, Missouri, killing 114 people, 114, and injuring more than 200. So, you remember this, right? Like,
I don't, but it's...
I've seen videos of it and everything. It's the, trying to find before and after. Well, this shows, it's like, it was for several stories. You can see right here, and right here, that's where they actually connected to.
Oh, okay.
But, like, for whatever reason, instead of, one solid like pole that goes down and connects them both. They had it connected in one of the walkways, so the failure was like in one of them or something, and that caused something else to collapse. Or something. I don't remember the exact semantic of it, but there were right here. It shows two walkways.
Yeah.
The lobby of the Hyatt Regency Hotel with its open atrium, suspended walkways, and interior landscaping, yada 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 yada. South end of skywalks anchored to steel plates. Skywalk supported by suspension rods. Yeah, here it is. Box beam. So like skywalk floor, and then the other beam, like right here. This is what I was talking about. Instead of one solid thing, they have two things, and that attributed to failure. 1983. This is no longer either source. British Open Men's Golf, Royal Birkdale Golf Course, defending champion Tom Watson won his 5th Open Championship, one stroke clear of Andy Bean and Hale Irwin. Watson's 2nd consecutive Open win and 3rd in last 4. 84, U.S. passed the National Minimum Drinking Age Act, prohibiting under 21s from buying or possessing alcohol as a condition of receiving federal highway funds. 86, Emmy 13th Daytime Award presentation. Susan Loki lost for the 7th time. No longer an either source. Ayo's time. Can I get through my life in 8 minutes? 10 teens die in Guadalupe River flood in Comfort, Texas. Well, it wasn't comfortable for them. We also have the Dow Jones Industrial Average closed above 2,500 for the first time, specifically 2,510.04. Iran and France broke diplomatic relations. New York Yankees' Don Mattingly was the second to hit home runs in 7 straight American League games, en route to 8. 1988, 4 billion viewers on TV watched Mandela's 70th birthday tribute. That's awesome. Highest temperature ever recorded in San Francisco, 103 Fahrenheit, or 39 Celsius. Right now it's 81 and sunny. Just
not
beaming.
in San Francisco.
No, to us, where we're at. So... And we're not in San Fran, thank goodness. 89, first test flight of the U.S. stealth bomber, at least, to public knowledge. Like, it could have been around for 20 years before that. But look at that.
Yeah.
I've seen that.
They had when I was a kid in the late 50s, what they called the flying wing. And it was a bomber, I believe.
Yeah.
And it just disappeared. They discontinued it, destroyed all of them.
No, they didn't. They just, made them pixelated. With these sharp angles.
Well, this is way later.
Well, yeah, but they took the concept. Is that not a flying wing?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it disappeared in the 50s. Why?
So that way...
And they destroyed them all.
Yeah, because they're trying to get the people to forget about them, so this could be even that much more secretive. Like, it's all about, artificially steering the masses towards directed mentalities. And everything. If you get rid of everything out of sight, out of mind, 20 years later, you come out with this new thing, and unless people like us talk about the flying wing, that goes into history and never talked about again. And that's what they want, ultimately. Because God knows what else technology they have and everything. 1989, Paul McCartney released a single, this one, from his album Flowers in the Dirt. The Reds reliever Kent Teknave retired after 1,070 appearances. 1990, Hussein's Revolutionary Day speech claimed Kuwait stole oil from Iraq. Here we go. Minnesota Twins became the first team to turn 2 triple plays into a game, but lost to the Boston Red Sox 1-0.
Oh man!
So they put out, they pulled out all the stops and they still lost. That's unfortunate. But I hope they had fun. 1990 as well, New York Yankee Deion Sanders hidden inside the Park Homer. Cool.
Yeah.
92, Slovak Parliament declared independence from Czechoslovakia, beginning the so-called Velvet Divorce. Sounds like a very, good-feeling divorce, which sounds weird. So, 93, Grammy Aubrey broke the world hour cycling record, riding 596 kilometers on Old Faithful at the Hammer Velodrome in Norway. I guess that's the name of his bicycle, because this is a cycling record, not a horse record. So, yeah, so there you go. So he's just, and it's about like the hour. So how far can you ride in an hour? So he's just going around in a circle for an hour, and he got 51.596 kilometers in an hour.
That's flying.
Yeah. 94, a French 4-year-old boy became Buddhist Lama Tuku Ka Rinpoche. 94 as well, Hulk Hogan defeated Ric Flair to win WCW Wrestling Championship. Brazil won their 4th World Cup title, defeating Italy 3-2 on penalties. 95, Forbes magazine announced Bill Gates was the richest man in the world with a net worth of $12.9 billion. Well, now, a freaking liar from South Africa is the world's first trillionaire. 95, singer-songwriter Carole King's 1971 album Tapestry was certified as Diamond for sales of 10 million units in the U.S. Diamond. Dang. 96, Paris-bound flight TWA 800 exploded off the coast of Long Island, New York, killing all 230 people on board a Boeing 747.
They'd just taken off.
Yikes. So they're full of fuel. It's terrible. 98, The Mask of Zorro, directed by Martin Campbell, starring Antonio Banderas, Catherine Zeta-Jones, and Anthony Hopkins, was released. 98 as well, Russia buried Tsar Nicholas II and his family 80 years after they died. Well, they didn't die, they were murdered by a bunch of communists. 98, the 7.0 MW Papua New Guinea earthquake triggered a tsunami that destroyed 10 villages in Papua New Guinea, killing up to 2,700 people and leaving several thousand injured. Wow. Would you mind turning that on, please? 98 as well, a diplomatic conference adopted the Rome Statute of the International Criminal Court, establishing the Permanent International Court in The Hague to prosecute individuals for genocide, crimes against humanity, war crimes, and the crime of aggression. We covered this a while ago. I remember covering that, word for word. 2004, former South African President Nelson Mandela called for commitment by the world to take action against AIDS. 2006, the 7.7 MW Pangandaran tsunami earthquake severely affected the Indonesian island of Java, killing 668 people and leaving more than 9,000 injured. 2007, TAM Airlines, TAM Linhas Andreas, Flight 3054 crashed upon landing during rain in Sao Paulo, Brazil. This is the deadliest aviation accident to date with an estimated 199 deaths. Wow. I guess 9/11 doesn't count. So, well, that's a terrorist action.
That wasn't a plane crash.
There was 2. You're right. Actually, it was 4. Well, officially 4. I think it's only 3. It was so obvious that the missile hit the Pentagon.
What?
Yeah. We'll get into that some other point. 2009, Jakarta double bombings at the JW Marriott and Ritz-Carlton hotels killed 9 people, including 4 foreigners. 2011, FIFA Women's World Cup Final. Commerzbank Arena, Frankfurt, Germany. Japan defeated the U.S. 3-1 on penalties, and then 2-2 after extra time. 2012, 17 people were wounded in a bar shooting in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Tuscaloosa, what a name.
Yeah, that's something.
Yeah. 2013, U2 singer Bono was made a commandeur of the French Ordre des Arts et des Lettres, I guess the art of letters or something. 2014, a 5-hour humanitarian ceasefire proposed by the UN took place between Israel and Hamas. We also have Malaysia Airlines Flight 17 was shot down over eastern Ukraine by a Buk surface-to-air missile launched from pro-Russian separatist-controlled territory, killing all 283 passengers and 15 crew on board. That is terrible. We also have a French regional train on the Pau-Bayonne line crash into a high-speed train near the town of Dengrin, resulting in at least 25 injuries. No deaths. That's new. No deaths. Huh. So, I wonder when our society has gotten past the point where accidents don't always result in deaths. when the technology is so good that even if you're horribly mangled, you're still alive. You know? 2014 as well, Eric Garner was killed by police officer Daniel Pendelgo in New York City after the latter put him in a prohibited chokehold while arresting him. Well, from my sources, I hear that it was not prohibited. It was actually just like, a standard issue chokehold to subdue somebody. And wasn't Eric Garner going around stabbing people? I don't know. Maybe if he wasn't doing crimes, none of that would have happened. But no, let's blame the white guy trying to stop the murderer. Yeah, let's do that, because that makes sense. 2015, Marvel's Ant-Man, starring Paul Rudd as a titular character, was released. Scientists solve mystery of sleeping sickness in 2 villages in northern Kazakhstan. Uranium mining had caused increase in carbon monoxide to such a level that it was killing people in their sleep.
Yikes.
Holy shit! 2015 as well, a self-deletion bomber in Khan Bandar, Iraq, killed 120 people. ISIS claimed responsibility. We also have an additional 130 were injured in Diyala Governorate, Iraq, specifically. 2016, 17 works by Swiss architect Le Corbusier included in UNESCO World Heritage Sites list as, quote, an outstanding contribution to the modern movement, end quote. Let's take a look at this here really quick. Okay, so, his architectural, okay. So, that makes sense. Okay, so his buildings are UNESCO. I thought it was like, some kind of painting or whatever. It's like, how is painting UNESCO? No, that makes sense. 2017, the Muppet Studio fired the voice of Kermit the Frog, Steve Whitmire, citing his, quote, unacceptable business conduct, end quote. Sounds to me like he got fired.
What did he do?
He's white. Like, let's look this up
How
here.
do you know he's white?
Well, because if he wasn't
He looks
white,
green to me.
well, it ain't easy being green. So, let's see here. Last week, it was announced, Whitmore told the Hollywood Reporter it was because he spoke up against changes being made to the character he felt were against what creator Jim Henson would have wanted. They felt that I had been disrespectful in being outspoken. So simply because he spoke up and he spoke his mind, they fired him for unacceptable business conduct. It's 2017, I have a feeling they fired him because he's white. Sounds about right for the time.
Running Jim Henson's enterprise after his death.
Yeah. Well, there you go. 2018, Australian basketball center Liz Cambridge scored 53 points as the Dallas Wings beat the New York Liberty 104-87 to set new WNBA single-game scoring record. 2018, Barack Hussein Obama gave a speech honoring Nelson Mandela and warning of, quote, strongman politics, end quote, in Johannesburg, South Africa. All that's rich coming from him, the guy who separated immigrant children from their families and locked them in separate cages. Obama did that. 2018, Bloomberg estimated NFL made $14 billion in revenue in 2017, distributing a record $8.1 billion to the league's 32 teams, $255 million each. What a nice pie,
Not kidding.
Oldest evidence of bread made from wild grains was discovered by archaeologists in a 14,000-year-old dig in the Black Desert in Jordan. Wow! Let's take a look at this. So you're right here. You're discovering old, bread making. That looks like an AI image there. Okay, there's a pit, I guess, to make bread. I don't know. 2019. Bulgaria announced 5 million people, virtually every adult, had their personal information exposed after National Tax Agency was hacked. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Irrigation canal system collapsed near Fort Laramie in Wyoming, parching 100,000 acres of farmland across Nebraska and Wyoming. That does not sound good. Mexican drug cartel head Joaquin El Chapo Guzman was sentenced to life in prison plus 30 years in New York. We also have streaming service Netflix reach 150 million subscribers worldwide, but with slower growth than forecast. And I never have, nor I never will, have a Netflix subscription because they still have cuties, which is, I don't even want to explain it. It's disgusting.
Okay.
It's child stuff.
Okay.
Like straight up, full blown on camera, in your face. From what I hear.
Never heard the term. Don't want to know about it, I guess.
Child stuff?
No, cuties or whatever you said.
That's the name of the movie.
Oh.
It's called Cuties,
Okay.
and it's about a bunch of 12, 13, or like 11, 12, 13. They're really young girls, they're just at that age, and about like becoming YouTube stars or whatever, but like apparently there's scenes where they are completely in their birthday suits and you see everything prominently, and Netflix just has it blasting, and it makes me want to throw up. How Netflix is still around with that, and they still have it on there, from what I hear, what do I got here? 2019, World Health Organization declared the DR Congo Ebola outbreak a public health emergency of international concern. 2020, India became the third country to record 1 million cases of Kung flu, 56% concentrated in Maharashtra, Delhi, and Tamil Nadu. Fear monger, fear monger, fear monger. 2021, the 73rd Cannes Film Festival, Todate won the Palme d'Or. Its director, French woman Julie Duncharoglu, was only the second woman to win. I wonder who the first one was. 2023, Russian pulled out of a deal allowing the export of Ukrainian grain past their naval blockade, threatening to push the world food prices higher. Typhoon Tala made landfall on China's Guangdong coast with winds of nearly 140 kilometers an hour, or 87 miles per hour, forcing the evacuation of nearly 230,000 people. Wow. 2024, just 2 years ago, Kevon Sullivan of the Philadelphia Union became the youngest player in a Major League Soccer match and the youngest to debut in any major North American professional sports league at 14 years and 293 days old in a 5-1 win over the New England Revolution at Subaru Park in Chester, Pennsylvania. We also have the Mirage Hotel and Casino in the Las Vegas Strip closed after 34 years. Rest in peace.
Yeah, that was with the volcano out front.
Yeah, the very first street side attraction to bring people in. That's what started that whole thing.
I remember seeing that being built. Say, what the heck is that mound doing out there?
Yeah.
They're building the volcano.
And now it's gone. They've already demolished it and everything.
They're building a new hotel.
Yeah, well, Vegas is dead. Absolutely. Yeah, what else we got here? 2024 U.S. Secretary of the Navy Carlos Del Toro officially exonerated all 258 black sailors who protested work conditions after the Port Chicago disaster in 1944. None of them are alive for the ruling. At least they got posthumously, pardoned or whatever.
Yeah.
And we talked about that Port Chicago disaster earlier. The show. The huge explosion killed hundreds of people.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. 2025, British government announced the voting age will be lowered to 16 across the UK in time for the next general election. Wow.
16?
Yeah. Well, they want to make sure that they pass the policies that they want, because if 16-year-olds are stupid enough to buy into their crap, if they actually do have to wait till they're 18, then they might have two brain cells developed enough to rub together and be like, this doesn't seem right, and then they lose the vote. That's why they lower it, to take advantage of the ignorance of the youth, to get what they want. 2025, CBS announced the cancellation of The Late Show with Stephen Colbert after running since 2015. All right, it is over.
What's over?
Stephen Colbert, the friggin' liberal prick.
Yeah.
So, and last but not least, Yulia Severyanenko was appointed Prime Minister of Ukraine, succeeding Denis Shmyhal. I would hate to be that guy. What a mess to inherit.
Yeah.
Anyway, that shall conclude the show. Once again, please check the underbar of the description below for any links that you may find interesting, including but not limited to all things Omni Coalition. A lot of history has and continues to be made on a daily basis. We can only bring you a portion between two sources. We have gone through all 35 pages of our document here in 1 hour and 9 minutes. What's the code word for today? Let us know that they're still watching.
You pick one today.
Explosion.
There you go.
Yeah, put explosion.
There's a big ass explosion in
Yeah, put explosion in the comments. Let us know that you're still watching. Speaking of comments, I'm checking comments. That's not comment. There we go. All right. Anyway, for your dose of passive events daily, we stream at 5 p.m. Pacific Time, 6 Mountain, 7 Central, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, respectively. For all of you and all of us, I'm Xander.
Golden Moon.
And you viewer are you, and until you catch us next time, whenever it is, wherever it is, don't forget to look right and left at every intersection, rate 5 thumbs, and subscribe. Toodles! And